All right, guys, let's go ahead and finish up the rest of this study guide. The visible parts of a comet are the coma, the dust tail, and the gas tail. The solid inner part of a comet is its nucleus. So we have the nucleus surrounded by the coma. We have a dust tail and a gas tail. So what we have is a very long orbit for a comet. So let's say we have our sun here. And our comet, they're going to originate from way out here at the Kuiper Belt or perhaps out at the Oort cloud. So what's going to happen is that as long as this frozen rock, gas, dust is far away from the sun, it's just going to continue to travel. But as soon as it gets close enough here, the thermal energy from the sun is going to convert that solid ice into gas. And then the gravitational pull of the sun is going to push that gas and that dust away. And this is going to be a very glowing tail that could be hundreds of kilometers long. So we'll go back around and then head on back. So a very famous one is Halley's Comet that comes around about every 75 years. Okay, which planet floats? Saturn does. Saturn is the least dense planet, and its density is less than water. The density of water is 1.0. So if we are able to calculate the density of an object, and if it's less than 1, then that object is going to float. And Saturn is considered to have a density that is less than 1, so it would indeed be able to float. Name the Galilean moons. So those are the Jupiter moons. Io, Ganymede, Europa, and Callisto. You're going to be able to need to know those. Okay, describe how a planet's AU and the length of its year are related. Since AU is the distance from the sun, and a year is a revolution around the sun, the larger the AU, the longer the year. Earth has an AU of 1 and takes 365 days to revolve around the sun. Planets with AUs less than 1 will have a shorter year compared to Earth, and the planets with AUs greater than 1 will have a longer year compared to Earth. Now that makes sense, because if we have our sun, and if we have our planets, our 8 planets, my very excellent mother just served us nachos. Of course, and if it's going around in an orbit here, it's not working so great. The farther you are away from the sun, the longer the orbit, therefore, the longer the year. Describe how Venus's atmosphere affects its temperature, but be sure to use the vocab word in your explanation. So it's the greenhouse effect. Occurs when a planet's atmosphere traps solar energy and causes the surface temperature to increase. Venus's atmosphere is 97% carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide traps some of that solar energy that is absorbed and emitted by the planet. This heats up the planet. That is why Venus is super hot. Describe why Mercury does not have an atmosphere. A planet has an atmosphere when its gravity is strong enough to hold gases close to its surface. The strength of a planet's gravity depends on the planet's mass. Because Mercury's mass is so small, the gravity is not strong enough to hold onto an atmosphere. What is unique about Uranus's axis? What may have caused this? Uranus's rotation axis is so tilted that it seems to be rolling along its axis. This sideways tilt may have been caused by a collision with an Earth-sized object. Compare and contrast the inner and outer planets. How are they similar and how are they different? So how are they same? Well, they all orbit the sun. They all are spherical in shape. They have to be considered a planet. They have all cleared their orbital path. They are all in our solar system. They all rotate on its axis. They all have greater mass than everything around them. That's how they are similar. How are they different? So inner planets are going to have a solid rocky surface. They are going to be the ones that are terrestrial. You can actually stand on them. Sorry about this, guys. All right. Okay, well, let's leave that. Okay, outer planets are primarily made of hydrogen and helium. Outer planets have a ring system and many moons, even though we have a moon and Venus has a moon. Mars has a moon, sorry. We don't, our inner planets, they do not have moons and we don't have ring systems. So that is absolutely how they are different. Inner planets' atmosphere is carbon dioxide or water vapor gases. The outer atmosphere is hydrogen and helium. Outer planets are gas giants. Inner planets are terrestrial. Outer planets are larger than inner planets. You may have a variety of ways that these inner and outer planets are similar and are different. This is just a few that I came up with. You are going to need to be able to differentiate between the inner and outer planets, a characteristic and how it might apply to an inner planet, or how this particular characteristic indicates it's an outer planet. You know, be thinking about, can you stand on it? Is it a rocky surface or is it made of gas? Be thinking about the atmospheres. Are they carbon dioxide? Are they hydrogen and helium? Don't forget about the methane out in Uranus's and Neptune's atmosphere, which makes it blue. Big here, guys, you need to be studying your vocab. Nowhere on the study guide here does it have those 12 vocab words and the definitions that you needed to write out. You did that in with your vocab assignment. So make sure you are able to match the vocab word with the definition. Make sure you look and read through your outline notes. Alrighty. Reviewing all of those. All right. Do the Kahoot. Absolutely do the Kahoot. Absolutely do the quizzes. If you prepare, doing all of these things, reviewing the study guide, doing your vocab, reading through your outline notes, doing the Kahoot, doing the quizzes, maybe reading through some of these lessons with your Reading Essential or your online book, you're going to do an amazing job on your test. Good luck.